What's good? We here live with Miss Ashley Scarborough from
Modern Stitches magazine.
Exactly, what is Modern Stitches then?
Modern Stitches is my streetwear vintage fashion magazine, and yeah, that's what I do. I'm the founder and publisher.
Also, sure, I just want to put in a simple plug for y'all.
Man, shout out to That's a Plug. Make sure y'all tune in, subscribe, and catch the wave while you can.
I have been doing Modern Stitches for about 5 years now. I started when I was in grad school. It was my thesis. Okay. So I decided, like my senior year undergrad, shout out to Virginia State. I started in undergrad that I wanted to do a magazine that focused on vintage and fashion, and because there was no outlet for that. So I was just like, let me start that and get that done. And so I made it my thesis in grad school, and you know, it started as a blog, and then after that, then I just kind of took it from there.
So exactly who is Ashley Scarborough?
I wear a lot of hats, actually. I do. Like, initially, my thing was I wanted to just be like the founder, editor-in-chief of Modern Stitches magazine. Let me just do that. But ever since then, like, you know, I've become a stylist. I've become a mentor. I have become so many other things along the line that, you know, I've just accepted it. At first, I was just like, I'm not a stylist. Like, people would ask me, they was like, can you style me? Like, who styles your photography? I mean, excuse me, your photo shoots? And I was just like, me. Right. So now people want me to style them, and so like it's just opened so many doors for me. I did a movie at the beginning of this year.
What was the name of it again?
Love.com. Shout out to you.
Who was in it?
Brave Williams, I believe that was her name. Then Tobias, he's on In Contempt now and on BET, and a few other people, and it's just like opened so many doors for opportunities. So, you know, I think that as an entrepreneur, as a millennial, like it's acceptable to wear many hats now, and I think it's okay. Multiple streams of income.
Right.
So that's just kind of where I am with Modern Stitches and media and things like that.
Let's talk about this movie right quick, because I personally know this story. You got to share with us how you came to be in that actual movie. How did that happen?
So last year I did a it was like a mentorship, like for teenagers. They needed like a panel discussion on how to get in the industry of like fashion and things like that. So I met a man there. Shout out to Tristan Kier. And Tristan, I told him, I was just like, he was talking about when we were on the panel that he was working on a movie as a producer. Okay. So me being who I am, I'm humble, will forever be. I said, look, Tristan, if y'all need a stylist, if you need somebody in wardrobe, let me know. So, you know, he was like, yeah, we always need hands and things like that. And at the time, they weren't like paying people for that. Right. Like, you know, and I was cool with that because I believe that when you do things for free, endless opportunities happen. Doing this for free, waking up at 5 a.m. to be there at 7, I was grateful. I just wanted to be on the team, to be honest. And like, you know, I worked like 19 hours. Ironing clothes, ironing, you know, styling. If, you know, Lisa Ray needed her shoes tied, that's me.
How long was the movie? Like months and years?
Well, that one, at the time that I was a wardrobe stylist, I was only there for like 2 days. Okay. That's like roughly. But we had multiple stylists and things like that. So I was like an assistant. Right. You know, that type of thing. But it's funny, after that, they asked me to come back. They called me in January and they were just like, look, we want you to be a lead wardrobe stylist, but this time we want to pay you. Yeah. So I was just like,
we want to pay you. That's what they say.
We want to pay you.
And that's a whole different lane.
You know, and that says so much about character. And you gotta, no matter what level you get to, you gotta stay as humble as possible and level-headed. You have to understand that it's levels to this. And I think that a lot of people in this generation don't realize that you have to start from the ground up. It's levels. Like, everybody is not going to get quickly. You got to build the foundation, and every part of this journey makes sense. You know, even if you tying shoes, if you want to be in wardrobe, if you tying shoes, if you just simply ironing clothes, you're in the atmosphere and you're being humble about it. And somebody's going to know that you better be the best iron person that you can possibly be, you know? And the next thing you know, the doors are going to open.
When did you start taking it serious though? Like when you was like, all right, I want to do this, but you was kind of like halfway in, halfway out. But then something, like what clicked in you to make you be like, no, I'm doing this for real. And that's all I'm doing. Like, what was that?
When I was at Virginia State, they had like modeling clubs, they had fashion clubs. I wasn't a part of none of that. So it wasn't until my junior year when I realized I was decorating all my walls with like magazine advertisements, like fashion. And I always took my clothing seriously. Like, it's not just putting on clothes, it's a look for me.
Right.
So I looked around one day and I was just like, Tag, you know what I should do? I should start a magazine. And it just clicked like a light bulb. And I wasn't about to quit school and change my major junior year, but I finished out, I graduated, I took a year off, and I was like, you know what, I want to start a magazine. And there are not enough black magazine publishers. Nobody is doing a thrift vintage magazine where it features African American people in it, in their creativity. So I'm going to be that person. So that's why I went to school specifically for publishing at Rosemont College.
So what's next for Modern Stitches? What's going on?
So I am moving to New York.
The fashion capital of the world.
Anybody who knows Modern Stitches knows that we work with so many people in New York. I am a partner for New York Fashion Week through Notre Shows. Love them. You guys have been amazing for the past 3 seasons. Love you guys. I'm moving to New York just to do a little bit of expansion. I love my DMV people. You guys have been amazing to me. The support is endless. But I do think that I want to expand a little more. I want Modern Stitches to be global. And I do think that New York is the right place for me. Seeing as though I've worked there, I have a bunch of connections there. And, you know, at some point you got to grow. We're also starting a YouTube channel called Snitches Get Stitches. And so I'm excited to release some of those videos. So
that's a plug. Snitches Get Stitches.
He's getting all the tea. I just realized that. Snitches Get Stitches. We have moving to New York. And, you know, we have our apparel. So I'm not going to tell you about this one. But there is something coming soon for our apparel. Very, very new. Very exclusive. But T-shirts are still available.
If you had to say anything to the next up-and-coming magazine, the next fashionista type, like what would you say to her or him? Because it might be him, might be.
I say a few things. Take your time. Time is not going to run out. You know, like if you're 40, if you're 35, if you're 20. Take your time, you know, do your research because this industry is not easy. Everything is a learning experience. Like I said with the movie, and even when I worked at Vibe, I was an intern. I wasn't getting paid. I'm spending money and not getting anything in return. I'm spending money on school. I'm spending money on megabus tickets just to go to work. But when I tell you experience is invaluable, no one can take that away from you. As soon as you do something, no one can take that away from you. And I feel like you need to take your time, pace yourself. And I think social media gives this false like view of what exactly you can become. Everybody has this instant gratification and things like that. But when you take your time and you build, you chip at the ice little by little, you're gonna get where you want to be. I was supposed to move to New York 6 years ago, but here I am now. But that's because I was patient and there was work for me to do here. Just take your time. Invest in your craft. If you want to work in media, if you want to work in fashion, do your research. Fashion Week is free. Sure, you have to be invited, but you got to go hard. If you really want to be a part of anything,
get yourself invited.
You get yourself invited. Look the part, dress the part, do all of the, invest in yourself. And I can't stress that enough. If you want to be on television, start a YouTube channel, start something like that. Get your friends to shoot you on their phone. People have done whole movies on an iPhone.
I believe it.
So
I believe it.
Take your time, do what you need to do, invest in yourself, and you're gonna get there. Like, start just small. If you can just start giving out tips, if you start on your Insta story giving out tips or something like that, and you know, posting on Instagram and shouting people out, that's a start. But don't think that you're gonna be famous tomorrow.
Right.
It don't work like that.
Yeah.
This is Ashley, and that's a plug.
That's a plug.
Tune in to That's a Plug every day, all day.
I want to end. I was saying, shout out to That's a Plug. Make sure y'all tune in, subscribe, and catch the wave while you can.
My man.